we use the wrong words. It can happen. Just want to make sure no one should feel offended because we're touching a tricky topic. We're just going to discuss, and we're not going to punch each other, and it's going to be all good afterwards. Be nice to each other. So just going to start to introduce everyone here in the round. I'm going to start with Gražnja from Poland originally, now living in Belgium. 2014, 2015 Winter Clash champion and 2017 Blading Cup champion. Next to her we have Manon Derion from France, 2016 Blading Cup champion, several times on the podium at Winter Clash, is all the time on the podium at the FIS, and also part of the Ladies camp in Malaga. Give it up. From Spain, we got Mary Munoz, 2017 Winter Clash champion. Yeah, winning wherever she competes. I think you just won in England, right? Is that possible? Yeah. And also involved in the Ladies camp. Give it up for Mary. And from Germany, Berlin, our 2007, 2012 and 2016 Winter Clash champion, Friederike Reich. And we had a last minute change. Originally we had Ferran Heron, but unfortunately she couldn't make it to Winter Clash. And I'm very happy that last minute Melissa Brown joined our round, because she right now is at the forefront of making stuff happen for girls in blading. She's organizing sessions, a website. We're going to talk about it later, but she's very happy to have her here as well. Give it up for Melissa Brown. We're just going to start very slow, and I want to hear from every one of you how you got into skating. Especially, there's probably when you started, there were little to none role models for all of you. So I just remember when I started, I watched X Games and I had like a skateboard full of boys, the typical boys club thing, and I just want to know how, if it was different for you, like if you just skated with the boys and it was totally fine, or if it was different for you to even get into it, how you got into it, what made you get into it, and yeah, maybe we start with Gražnja.
So I think I started to skate in 2002, maybe. I had figure skates, and one day I saw a competition on Eurosport. I don't know which competition now. That's what why I learned how aggressive inline exists, and I just asked some of my friends, do you know that you can do this kind of things with your skates? And they said, no, I don't really know, but I saw there was a skate park somewhere in a neighborhood, so I went there. There were only boys skating. I thought it was normal, but I just stopped. So I started to blade. I met Piotrek, my best friend from blading, and I was blading all the time with him. That's also how I learned that your tricks should be like clean and proper, because it was really, really good level. And there was no girl skating at the time. I thought it was normal. Excuse me?
Did you miss it? Did you have influence on you, or did you just take it as normal?
I took it as normal, but he had great influence for me because he was the best in the country. He won the first Winter Clash amateur, I think. So I was like trying to be like him all the time. So that's, I think I just managed to learn some tricks actually.
Well, for me, at the beginning, I was just like watching my friends who were skating at the skate park, at the local one, which was like super little. And then in my hometown, they built a new skate park, a big one. And then really at the beginning, I didn't even like know that girls skate. I mean, I haven't like seen girls at the beginning, so I was like, I didn't even like think about it. And then I saw a girl, a French one, and I was like, oh, cool, that's a girl. She's like, how do you say? She's like a girl, like really, like she was girly and stuff, and it was beautiful to see her on skates. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I would like to be this kind of girl who is really a girl and she can skate, and even if it's an extreme sport, it can be beautiful and cool. Yeah, I think it's that.
Well, me, I saw a movie on the TV once, Blink, I think it was called, in high jump. And I was living in the moment in Valencia. So I started skating there, but after I moved to Bilbao and I quit it, and after I met like my best friends, Alex, Tera, Ganesh, Leo, Yuri was over there as well, Yuri was there. And me, at first I started to skate totally with them. And they were super street skaters, so I just went with them. And sometimes I hit the rail, sometimes they don't, and it's the other way around. I think just competing and skating with them, I learned a lot. And suddenly I realized in the internet that there was a girl in Barcelona, Lucy Bonilla, and another one, Sara Vilella, and I started to skate with Sara Vilella, traveling to Barcelona, and she came to Bilbao and got to, I don't know, suddenly we managed to get like a girls category, because we didn't have in Spain at that moment, and the three of us started to evolve women in everything skating, and right now I'm trying to bring more girls into skating and create a community and skate together with the boys, not just girls apart, but just boys and girls. That's how I fall in love with skating.
Yeah, for me, I think I skated probably the longest because it must have been mid-90s. And there was still the big competition series in Germany called BIF, where it was kind of international, but blading was so big, and there were still girls. And also where I grew up, I first noticed aggressive inline skating through a half pipe in my neighborhood, and there were the boys who also were competing in the German championships, so at a very high level. And I started to skate with them, and they were already girls, but I always had the feeling that in every boys group there's only room for one girl, and she has to be the best in that group. And as soon as you would go to the other group, there would be like rivalry. Like when I went to the first German championship, the girl who already had competed there told me I shouldn't go there because I would embarrass myself, because the others were so much better. So after that, I get the feeling that it's kind of even more competitive for girls than for boys, because they're not used to competition, and they always have this feeling of being unique in their group, which I think works on that friendly basis, or worked always for me with my friends. But it's that's something that has changed for me recently in the last years, that there were more girls coming and the competition has been less, and girls also skate together, not so much, because there are not so many girls, but it's not that hard anymore to be second. You don't have to hate the first one. That was how I grew up. The first is she didn't deserve it. It's not fair. Always bitchy. But I think that's he has increased. So I really have a positive feeling towards the whole dating thing, and I've already touched much more topics than I should.
Yeah.
So I started skating in maybe 2001, aggressive skating. I had two older brothers who skateboarded, so watching X Games was really cool. And I wanted to be different from them. So I saw rollerblading on television for the X Games on TV. I think it was maybe the last year X Games rollerblading was a thing. But I started rollerblading at the skate park by myself. And I actually grew up in Arizona, so for those of you who don't know, Arizona was the home of Dustin Latimer, the French brothers, Billy Lanham, J.B. Snyder, really old school guys. And so I also got to skate with these really awesome pros. They were super supportive of me skating. And then out of nowhere, like there were 3 other girls who showed up at the local skate parks in Arizona, so we all kind of skated together. So for me, I had this really cool support system when I started skating. Unfortunately, I quit 5 years after skating, and I had quit skating for another 5 years. But before that, I was lucky enough to be at Woodward Girls Week back in like 2005, I think was the very first year. And I did Woodward Girls Camp for 2 or 3 years, but if I didn't go to those things, I wouldn't know any of the women rollerbladers in the States. I've met a lot of European girls from Woodward camps as well. Those all stopped. I stopped skating and I got back into it, and I got in touch with Coco Sanchez. I played roller derby for 3 years before then, and I actually had a roller derby sponsor my trip to a contest in California, and I called up Coco. I was like, hey, come to this contest. And there was 2 other girls, Megan and Gracie, and we kind of all road tripped to the Inland Empire in California, and we started up girls categories in California contests again, and that's when I was like, all right, I'm gonna stay in rollerblading. And the fact is, if we didn't support each other then, we want to maybe have this kind of girl supportive thing we have going on that's growing and growing. So for me, always supporting everyone in skating was like a thing I grew up with skating. There was no competitiveness with the Arizona rollerbladers. They were just all like really happy to see the girls out there. They supported us so much. I just felt super fortunate to have someone like JP Snyder like say, hey, you did a great job, or try this trick that way. So for me, I think it's amazing to see all these girls kind of getting to this really close supportive system we have going on. So that's my story.
You just mentioned that in your area, the boy club was really supportive and they always helped you. And in general, maybe that's a German thing, but I'm almost sure it's happening somewhere else as well. Like, especially a few years ago, up to 10 years ago, 5 years ago, being a girl and blading or a woman and blading, some people, some narrow-minded people think that's wrong because it's not girly, whatever that is, that term. And I just want to hear if you had experience with it, or if, I mean, most probably every one of you had to do with that at some point, whether the parents or the friends or the people in school didn't understand why you're not, whatever. Why don't you just go to the disco? Yeah. So I just want to hear how you deal with that, or if it was even a topic. Maybe you never thought about it, but if it affected you, how did you deal with it, and what did you tell people, or what did it do to you personally? Like to, want to start?
So when I started skating, baggy pants were still a thing. So I wore like my dad's pants that I stole, like 2XL shirt underneath an XL shirt, and everyone at the skate park thought I was a boy, little boy. And I was like, no, I'm actually a girl, but I like still dressed like that for the longest time. I think I was 18 or 19 when like I started wearing like female jeans and skating, and people were like, oh, that's a girl, and then guys were like, oh, maybe I could try dating her. No. But for me, it was like never really a punch to my face when someone thought I was a boy or anything. I did play soccer for a long time with men, so like from that experience, I kind of like was taught girls have the same strength as any of the guys, so don't ever let a guy put you down. So because of that, when a kid at the skate park was like, are you a boy? Like, or like, why aren't you at the shopping mall or something like that? I'm like, no, I just love skating. Like, but like I said, luckily I was with a lot of supportive guy skaters, so they didn't care, but it's just, sometimes you're just like, oh, I'm sick of these kids like calling me a guy or this and that. Sometimes it does kind of make you feel like, oh, should I dress more like a girl now? Like, what do I do? But eventually style, music, and trends change, so, and now, I mean, I probably still get mistaken as a dude still, but, but for me, it was okay. It didn't change me much, but I was fortunate to have a really good support system with skating.
Yeah, I don't think that Germany was that hard on girls. Usually, most boys I skated with were very supportive, and I think most boys appreciate girls skating outside the internet. As soon as you drop an edit, they will comment on how good your ass looks or your face or whatever. Like if you go skating, then everybody acts normal, but on the internet, it's in every category. It's not only rollerblading. I recently looked a lot of guitar videos, which are not very sexual at all. But whenever a girl does something, you have to comment her hotness, and when a boy does something, they comment on their skills. And that's something that in rollerblading obviously also happens, and that is annoying, I guess. And also the fact that I think girls have a hard time, and boys as well, to see the group separate. You always have to put the comment for a girl. It's really good for a girl. There's always like putting it in her face. You just can't have it stand there like, yeah, that was a good trick, good edit, good line, good whatever, for a girl. So it's hard to find a place in that sport where everything is male and you're often the only female. I think that's also for role models hard, kind of, yeah, and for the performance hard, like how am I doing? Okay, I'm the only girl, of course it's good for a girl right now, but yeah, so I don't know. I think the most supportive comments one could ever get is like, I enjoy you watch rollerblading or something like that, and it's without any putting it in some weird box.
For me, I was lucky that my best friend were always like teaching me how to compete and how to do this. So I just felt like we were like brothers. So I never felt they really make a difference because I was a girl. They were even a bit more impressed because you skate good and it's like a bit. So you grab a little bit more of attention for the, like if you're in a skate park and you see 4 boys like ripping super cool and suddenly there's a girl with them and you're like, oh, that's cool. But I have to agree with Frida about the comments and the haters in the internet. And I can talk in the name of all the girls that I read very, very bad comments like, why would this woman go out of the kitchen and things like that on Roller News? So, and well, that was from Amandine, they told this, and I was like super, or even like, how this girl went with a topsoil in a rail and things like that. Like, I could go and do that, but that's the internet, and I think internet right now is full of haters. So thank you, haters, for your support. Because even though you're giving us views, so that's a bit good, I think. But I think, I mean, this is always going to be like that, and that is what we are fighting for. Like, we are not models, we are roller skaters. We are not here to impress you like because our physical. We are here to impress you with our tricks. That's why we are here.
That's a good start to go to another topic, which is tricks at the level of riding. Check. Yeah, what do you think about the general level of riding and the development in the last, let's say, 15 to 20 years? Like, what do you think? How is it, and why is it the way it is?
Okay, I can start it. Well, when I started to skate, I looked to like people like Martina or Kaya Tursky, and I think that is the level that we should look to, no? Like But the thing like now is more like skate park skating, and in the past it was a little bit more like street skating, like baggy and two topsoils maybe. And well, I would like to see tricks like that now, and I think we are all trying to reach that level, but it's a thing that we have to work on. For example, me, I work skating, so if I cannot skate teaching, I lose my job, so I think this is a thing we all have, like I think we work. So that's the point always. And I would like to reach that level, but I don't know how is the way. Should we risk so much just to drop a video on internet that has like 5 to 10,000 views? I don't know.
I think that now the fact is that there are much more girls skating than like 15 years ago, but I don't think that the level is much higher than back in the days. I think like for me, honestly, I love all these supportive things. We have to support each other. We're like one community, one family. But if you are always in the spotlight because you're a girl, it doesn't make you progress. It makes you feel you are good enough with your top soul or with your other soul, and yeah, everyone like make you feel you are good, and you're in your head. You are not saying, okay, maybe I'm capable to do like I don't know some more tricks, but I don't have to because I can already get competition, and I have a recognition of everyone. I'm already a star. Yeah, because I laced 5 tricks I did already 10 years ago. It doesn't make you skate better. I am talking honestly about myself. Like I can skate together and do the same tricks I did 10 years ago, and if I am a bit lucky, I can end up on the podium. So it's not a good thing to make us skate better.
Yeah. I'm with you for the motivation side, but I also think that this is maybe, or there's a possibility that this might change, because if you've seen it yesterday, that there are 40 girls competing, and I think those 40 girls, they don't skate the 15 or 10 years or that we skate, but they're a group now that can push each other. And I think there's just a gap that they just started, and hopefully they might get to the point where they get a even better level and then push each other. Because we have been so little, so girls, I'm so little, but not so many. Not a lot. I don't know, when was it when we were just like 8 or something at the Winter Clash, and it was always the question, will there be a girls category? Because there are not so many, and we could always say, yeah, okay, those 3 are absolutely for the podium, and the rest is nice that they still skate. And now this is changing, and I think this is also motivating, so it's hard to predict what will happen to the level, which is, from my point of view, also been stagnating very much in the last years. But I think with the new generations, there could be actually something happening.
That brings us right to the next topic, and that is the whole, what you just said, like it kind of feels like it's a start for the last two to 3 years, last 2 years. Feels like something is really happening, and that is also, first of all, because we really try to push the girls competition or women competition at Winter Clash. But second, the ladies camp this year, for the first time, women camp is super amazing to see. Like, how many was it? 40? 20. You could have done more, yeah. Yeah. So first give it up for the first camp. And there's a lot of stuff happening like that, or starting to happen now, and that's what I definitely agree with. Like, if we keep on going the same road, and 5 years from now we're going to be in a totally different spot. But maybe for everyone in the room, if someone of you maybe you can sum up what is out there right now. For if I'm a woman in blading and I should start, where can I go? What websites can I check out? is there, where can I find my community, and where do you think this is going in the future?
So right now we do have the blading camp, and the first week is Bladies Week. I think it's one of the coolest things ever since Woodward Camp had their Girls Rule Week. I'm also starting a new project, Roller United Conference, and that actually gears more towards female rollerbladers, quad skaters, BMX girls, and scooter girls, kind of help unite them. Because all of these female sports, they've gone through all the same issues we're going through. Skateboarding especially, you can see how hard it was for them, starting where we are probably now and then where they've progressed to. So I think that should give us a lot of motivation that female rollerblading can get to a point where we all want to see it. So I'm doing Roller United. There's also a lot of female pop-up brands coming out. And we don't know if they're going to make it or not, but the fact is we should support them because we don't have any female brands in rollerblading itself. And I think why not? Skateboarding brands have skater brand companies for females, snowboard, the ski companies. So why not take the chance for us to do that as well and support each other doing that? And I think all the guys need to support it as well because we've been supporting the whole industry all together. There's girls who want to come up with their own shirt companies in their own countries and cities, and I think that's super cool. I think one thing I've noticed from skating and taking a break and coming back is the one thing that, people always say like rollerblading's dying or whatever, which I don't believe, but the one thing you can really see from like 2001 to now is the growth, the amount of women who are skating now. So I think because we have so many more women of all different levels, we have to start building foundations where, okay, no matter what we're doing, let's support. But even if they do fail, at least they've taken that jump, that risk, that leap to maybe it'll be something one day in the future and something will happen. But so I know there was also Unlabeled Girls. I did a lot with promoting that, but I'm no longer with that. So that's why I think it's also important that females starting female brands or support projects, I think it's important to support the ones that are founded by females themselves. You kind of take a look at it and you see the guys trying to do a lot for females, it turns out to be something completely different and not in the best interest for females. So I think all of us, we should just really just be happy and support each other. And I don't know, just do something positive like that.
Brands, like having your own brands is one thing, but in the end, if everyone screams for equality, it also makes sense to support, like everyone supports the same brands. So I could be that maybe a separation between girl and male and female brands. Not sure about that, but more importantly, like events and videos and stuff like that. I think that's something that where female blading is, or women is really at the beginning right now, because I was thinking about it yesterday at the Adam Johnson event in the theater. I was thinking, like, why don't you talk to Adam or talk to Carsten Boysen or talk to any video maker, or in fact do your own, like create your own history making videographers and go on a tour and create a project like that, because that didn't happen for a long time, where I can download a VOD of a group of girls going on a tour, filming like street sections and put it out just to show what you do, because that's what I'm missing for myself, like finding out about what you are doing at the moment, at the time. I mean, it's growing because the media, like you getting, like social media makes it easy for everyone to put it out there. But what I'm missing and why I think we should start to build it up is to put a concept behind it, not just throwing everything out, but put it on one place and create this one film per year, make it the camp is the same thing. Like, and you can do street events, and even if it's just like 4 or 5 people, it doesn't matter. And then in the end, if there's boys coming, that's great as well. I think that's building the foundation, which brings us to the next point, because online there was a lot of talk, not a lot, but there was some. You want to say something?
to say one thing to the video stuff, that I think it's important that girls start to find their own cultural identity in rollerblading, because we cannot just take the boys' culture, because it's quite testosterone, I don't know. And I think that if there are more girls, then there are also more girls who just only like to blade, but also make videos, for example, or start a magazine, or start to show girls in a way that other girls can relate to. So that would be my wish, or what I'd really like to see, would be that the new generation starts something that does more to a bladey culture than we did. I think we were like not a critical mass, or maybe not engaged enough, or something to find like a female rollerblading culture. But there would be something that could be like really amazing and supportive for all the new ones.
Yeah, that's true, because right now you're depending on, or you were depending on other people to move. Like you were depending on the fees to have the girls category, you were depending on Winter Clash to have the girls competition. That's what you mean, right? Like building your own foundation, and then, but also, should it be so separate is the question. We're talking about women and men all the time. Is it even clever to separate? Should it be separated or not? Maybe that's going too far now. I don't know. We don't have that much time. You want to say something about it? Or? Okay, really quick.
It's an important topic.
Real quick on that, I just had it in my head, now I'm losing it. I think one thing I noticed with females is there's always, and probably any skater, there's always the competitive one and more of the recreational one, the one who just wants to do it for fun. Then there's the one who has the dream of becoming the professional rider, the one on the big screen on television and this and that. But in the end, like, female empowerment has to start from something. So if you're not empowering at all, then maybe nothing gets done. And it kind of is kind of like, should we separate man, woman, and the segregation of that? We don't necessarily need to, but I think if we can help empower females to get up to where they want to be, maybe, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that brings us to the last topics of the day, and the most tricky ones. Should there be, like, I'm just going to throw the two questions and then we're going to find a way through it. Should there be an amateur and pro class in woman blading, and what about the prize money? This is going to be the last two topics. Welcome to the show, everyone. No. Yeah, just going to throw the question out, and every one of you can talk about if there should be amateur and pro. And I'm just going to explain my point of view first, because we had the same problem with the man in 2006 and 2007 at Winter Clash. I'm all for woman amateur and pro category if it makes sense, which in my opinion is really hard to, I'm not sure if it makes sense yet, but the problem we had with Winter Clash in 2006 was that there was no clear separation between pro and amateur, and everyone could basically sign up wherever they want to, and they had the shirt brand or whatever, and then they were pro automatically. So we had the worst pro comp, because the pro comp took like 5, 6, 7 hours, and there was like 60, 70, 80 people in it, and not even half of them were either pro level 1 or pro in any term, or in any way of the definition of the word. So we had, at some point we had to make a cut, which was with the World Rolling Series, which we created together. And the clear separation ever since is if you're pro for a boot company, if you're international pro for a boot company, not for a frame or boot company, or if you qualify through a Winter Clash amateur competition, then you can compete in the pro. And in women blading, that's not there yet. So the foundation is not ready, in my opinion, to have the clear separation. That's my opinion. So if you want amateur and pro, if you want that, yes or no, and what do you think would be the right way to do it? That's what I want to know.
Okay, well, I think this is a good point to have two categories, because I saw like a lot of girls which like are starting maybe 2 years or 3 years ago, and and they're super shy, and I don't know, they're like just scared to skate with girls which have skated for, I don't know, 15 years, you know? So maybe if it's like a community of girls which has started from, I don't know, maybe 5 years or less, it's maybe like push them more to reach this pro category, you know? Even, I don't know, even if for maybe the first and the second years, it doesn't really make sense about the pro and amateur. I mean, maybe they can just choice. I mean, the girls knows if they are like, I don't know, if they can skate with the other pro, or if they need to stay at the amateur. I mean.
Before to push the level, you need something to look forward to and to work towards. So I mean, if you have a pro category, yeah, that's that's a good point. Okay, yeah, that's a good start.
It's a very good question. I think it depends. Now, if I go somewhere for a contest, there are 5 girls. Obviously, we're not gonna go make a pro and amateur category. But Winter Clash is the biggest competition for the girls. So if there are 40 girls, it can make sense. Then who is pro, who is amateur, I have no idea if we are pro or amateurs. But I guess if we look at top 3 girls last 5 or 10 years, most of the time are the same. Maybe 10 girls at ending up on the podium, like since beginning of Winter Clash. So I can believe that those girls who skates for 5 years, getting really good level as skating for 5 years, cannot really show up here and I don't know, just get some, just show, yes, hey, I'm here, I skate for 5 years, I can already do this and that. No one will recognize those girls. So for them, it might be interesting, amateur category, and if they end up on the podium the next year, they can start with the others. Maybe, yeah. I think that might be for Winter Clash.
Yeah, I agree with Graciela. I think also thinking about the young girls, I think it's much more motivating if you think about winning the amateur. That makes you feel better and more confident to skate after. So I think it's about confidence because some of them are shy and just the pressure of everyone watching that makes them skate worse. But if they're in amateur, they are more chill and they can reach the podium and come home and say to their father, like, look, I was second, I was third, and the next year they pass directly to pro, something like this. I think it's about having a commitment, I think it is in English. A goal, yeah, you have a goal, so you reach it, like, and you know it's not immediately, like you are not going to be pro in one moment, but because, for example, nearly all of us have been like placing in the podium, and this is, it's not about the podium, it's you get more confident and you feel like, okay, I can do this. And if they feel that, it's like psychologically for them, it's super strong for the future.
And how do you want, maybe that's going too much into details and we should talk about it later on, but still I'm thinking how you draw the line, like how do you say who's pro, who's not pro?
Again, only for Winter Clash, because it's easy to say the same category as for the guys. So if you end up on the podium in amateur next year, you can start with pro. That's the goal. And then if we settle this now, let's say the last 5 years count as well. So if Manon ended up last year as a second or something, she has to go to pro. Yeah, it's the only rule. Yeah. Yeah, top 3 or top 5, whatever. But yeah, but if next year we have only 20 girls, and it means it has to grow up every year.
Maybe we can ask how many girls are here who competed for the first time this year? And
others are skating. Yeah.
good for them. I'm jealous, yeah. Yeah, but is it like that? I mean, now that there are 40 girls competing and there's obviously not like big pros and huge gap and then amateurs, but there's all levels, is it such a big gap to start, or do you feel, is it okay?
I think, like Mary said, it's your confidence. Once you've done it once, like yesterday was, for me, it was just skating. Oh. Yesterday it was just, for me, it was just skating and getting to skate with everybody. And I think because I had the confidence to do that, it felt better for me. And coming away yesterday going, I got to skate at one of the biggest, events. That was, for me, it was just, that was it.
Would it have made a difference if it was amateur or pro?
I think if you'd skated a long time, I've only been skating a year, so maybe in 5, 6, 7 years time for me, it'd be a goal, like you said. It'd be something to reach for, because you constantly push yourself. Yeah.
But for example, we have Lini, Kylie, and Rosie sitting in the first row, and they were winning competitions before in their own countries, and they're skating for a long time. So how do you? And I'm not sure if you are included in top 5 or not. So how do you? We wouldn't have to include them as well. So we have to sponsor what?
The pro used to say like, if you have a good sponsor, you can pass to pro, if you have a shop or something supporting you.
But the 3 of them, I mean, maybe that, like I said, it's going too much into detail. But maybe you take like the biggest national competitions as well, and the winners from there can compete in pro as well. Because I think it's important to not exclude people who are skating on that level for such a long time but never made it to the podium at Winter Clash because they were snowboarding, for example, with Kylie.
So yeah, obviously if we don't include them in the pro category, they're gonna win it next year. So they will have only one chance to win amateur category, and then we're gonna have like more like beginner girls.
Yeah, I was just thinking to speed it up and save them 1 year of lifetime. Okay, yeah, I'm liking what kind of direction that's going. Yeah.
Maybe we could do like the amateur girls first. So imagine yesterday was the amateur and the finals of the amateur is yesterday. So today will be rest and they join the pro category.
Someone taking notes? We've got 8 minutes to go, and I want to touch the topic of prize money. Yeah. Obviously, in a way, I'm pretty sure all in the room agree that it would be awesome to have equal prize money. Then the reality is, in other sports, in almost no sport, it's the case. We can't answer why that is. In my opinion, no, it doesn't matter. No, but it would just have taken too long to. First, I think it's good to have numbers. The guys, the first place gets that 1,000 euros, second place 750, third place 300, and just to clarify that's on purpose. People are always complaining that prize money in general is really low at Winter Clash. I can tell you it's on purpose because I don't want it to become a shit show with people just going for the money and. I don't want it to become an ego fest. Winter Clash is a core event, and I don't want it to be too much about the sport. I want it to be a celebration about blading. That's why prize money in general is lower at Winter Clash than at other places, and I don't care what other people think about it. But just for the comparison, pro 1,000 euro and woman is 400 euro for the first place this year, which is more than amateur and junior. Amateur gets 250 and junior gets 100. And yes, we should put it higher, but is that fair? Is that possible? I will let you talk first. And just go for it. You just start.
I know for other contests, it's been what the females pay for the contest that's put into the pot for their prize money. I know.
That would be 750 euros. No, that would be less than the total amount we spent on prize money. 400 first, 200 euros second, and third is 150. 750 euros. That's the total, and we generate 450 euro with the registration fee. And if you make it higher, we would spend exactly 750, which is now.
But I know Winter Clash is different. But in the past, because they're smaller contests, they're not on the scale of Winter Clash, so you only pay one fee to get to skate. Like Blading Cup, the girls pay $30 to skate, and you just hope everyone registering to skate, that goes into the female prize money. I know in the past, there's been contests for girls and sponsorships for the women's prize contest, and then we find out that contest took the money away from the women, and they would give us like a merely $100, and that would be like China winning a contest and she gets $100, which is ridiculous. But I think for like smaller scale contests, I think if anything, put the money that the women are paying to skate back into it, just for them to have something. But if you're going to have sponsors, I think the sponsors should also acknowledge that women are skating, and the sponsors should put a little bit of money into the girls' prize money as well. And maybe the scale of female rollerblading will get crazier if you say, hey, there's a little more money for you guys. Because none of us, I know I would never, but I'm not gonna go do some crazy trick for $100 prize money. So I know like a lot of guys are starting to support us as well with equal payment, but I know for us, I think if we did have equal pay, then maybe you would see a higher level of the professional women doing crazier things, but a lot of them, we are older, so we're not going to go risk our bodies, but maybe the younger ones might do something crazier. But it is a touchy thing, but I think at least if you're going to sponsor an event and there's a women's category, put some of that sponsorship money into the women's prize. And we don't mind if you're going to charge us, $75 to skate a contest, and that's the equal price you charge the pros to skate a contest. Like, I think we would all pay it as long as we know that that part of the money is going back into us. For smaller scale, with Winter Clash, I don't know.
Yo-Yo.
I'm gonna say.
Yo-Yo, we got a question on the BMAG feed from John Goez from Easy Go Easy.
Oh,
he said
he's too funny.
He said
Don't take
that
him serious.
if you give the girls €1,500 prize money, he will match it, making it 3,000 for next year. John, we're listening and we took notice. So
I was about to say, John's actually putting up 500 for Blading Cup, and we always put in more than just because we had 8 or 10.
Blading Cup was great.
So and you guys are killing it every year. But as a Blading Cup event organizer, yeah, like John's working with us for next year, and we try to push it and push.
I see the progression of Blading Cup, and I like it, especially for the women.
Yeah, we do thank you guys for coming because it's always awesome.
I want to say something very unpopular. I don't think it works in rollerblading, the whole equal pay thing. We're not like a social system like a state or something. There are like 100, how many boys, amateur boys were there yesterday? 100? More than 100 boys all competing in a row against each other, all paying the same as we did, getting less attention, less support. Paying more than we did? Exactly. Less prize money. So equality would be us giving the boys something in this case. And like you said, sponsor money, and this is all stuff that boys build. Like, I don't know, Angie Walton was the only last woman in a magazine or something, building something. You do by putting this whole blading thing out there. The unlabeled girls did something, or there are people doing something, but always demanding something from companies that are run by men doesn't sound very, equal or feminist to me. So you guys want it?
Okay, so of course it's very nice win some money while blading, but I think it's for me. I separated two things. I have a job when I earn money, and I have blading where I don't get any money. And, so but actually I work to spend my money on blading. So I don't agree. Like I think the order is different. No, you don't put more money in the contest to see high level. First, high level is coming, and then you reward the girls like putting really good effort and having some skills to reward them. You cannot see, okay, there is 5,000 euro to win, who's gonna do double backflip top soul. You first do your double backflip top soul to get this money. Maybe you don't even know. I compete in some contest and I don't ask anyone if there is something to win or not. There are good vibes, so I feel like lacing some tricks, and I really don't care about prize money. It's always nice to get some money, but yeah, most of the time there is no money, basically. And I think I get used to it, so I don't really expect anything more.
Yeah, well, if we look at like events from maybe since 3 years ago, we can see that the prize money has grown, like really, even if it's not that much, but it has grown. But I don't know, the competition in girls is pretty particular because it's, I don't know, it's a session. I mean, for me, honestly, it's a session and we have fun. Maybe not everybody, but I don't know. I mean, there is like girls who wants to win, who wants to be first, who want to be the better, but there is like a lot of girls who wants to do that for fun. And I don't want to be like events with a fucking big money to win and makes the competition become like more, I don't know, fight and competition, and I don't want events become like that actually. I still want to be fun, and because we can see the difference between maybe the men and the girls, right?
Would you try 360 sweet stance on the ride if you knew there is 5,000 euro to win?
I'm maybe not the better example for that, but
yeah, but me neither. Yeah, not gonna change anything in the
That's something that I like about the sport right now, that we don't have to ask ourselves the question, that it's not like Red Bull or the thing that you ask, does he really want that, or does he hurt himself for the money? And we just don't have to ask ourselves that question, and I like that.
Yeah.
But it's a different topic to not raise the money, or should it be equal? Because that's a different one. And now I'm really some ice again. As an event organizer, I have to point out, like right now we spend more on the girls' prize money than we get in, and I'm willing to do more of that. Like if the foundation is there, I'm totally fine of seeing that grow too. But the reality is also that the whole, like Frida said, the whole sport is based on man work, like the companies, the events and stuff like that. And Winter Clash is selling tickets. For instance, if I announce that Chris Happy is coming, I can immediately see a growth of tickets. So the income that is generated, or the income that is generated at the event, is mostly coming through that kind of announcements. And how do I go from there? No, not like that. Not like, I can see that people are excited. No, I can see that people are excited, but that's what I mean with the foundation. We need the foundation that people are as excited. If I'm announced Mary, people start to trip out now, and that didn't happen 2 years ago. And now, like the popularity grows, and that's because you all put work in. And that's what I mean. We have to keep on doing that, and the prize money will automatically rise because we will have companies who will come, especially to us, and maybe say, okay, I really want the prize money, like maybe another company, maybe a person like John or whatever, someone who just says, okay, we want the prize money to go higher. But I just don't know if it's right to say, okay, we need it now, let's do it. I think it is a natural growth coming out of what the rest of you is doing, what you're building. Like that's my opinion. I'm not sure if I put it right. Yeah.
Thinking about men banking.
Can you talk louder? A little louder?
How many girls are part of the volunteer team of the Win Flash team? How many girls?
At the volunteers team,
Yeah,
we have.
Of your team making this event possible.
I think during the week we are like in the preparation phase. We had 3 or 4, and during the event it's 50-50 almost. Yeah, almost 50-50, which is growing. Thanks to Bibi, she started it all, I think. Yeah, that's basically what I mean. Like, I don't think it's even going to be an issue in a couple of years from now, because it will automatically, if everyone puts work in, instead of demanding and crying online. Not saying you're crying online, but the whole tone of the whole weekend at every panel was people are always crying online instead of doing stuff. And I think the same applies for this. If we are doing stuff and if you're doing stuff, it will automatically not even be a topic anymore at some point, maybe. Instead, like, yeah. Say it.
I think it's something that it's all of us know, which is like how many skates are sold at the moment for girls and for men. We know that most of the sponsors are skate brands, so even if I do love what you do and I respect all of you a lot, but we need to see that the amount of money coming to this event comes from selling skates. And if there are like 20% of the skates or 25% of the skates being sold to women, it's really, I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it's also not fair to men that there's more money going to that part. Like
Maybe you do a pro model for a girl and size of skates for a girl.
Yeah.
So more girls can skate.
You are connected to a brand which will both work for the same brand, right? So
I get it.
It's something that can be worked, but again, the brands make something if they know it's going to sell. They will not make a pro model if it's not going to sell.
No, but that's what I meant before. Like with the like right now we are kind of demanding, like we want this and this and this. What can we do about it? But I don't think it's the right time to demand and just do it. It's like what you said, but selling skates, that will automatically happen. If we continue doing the camp, there's going to be more kids. There's going to be kids demanding a woman pro skate. It's going to happen if we continue doing what we're doing. Yeah, and the size, exactly, and it goes, but the company is not going to do the size if they can't afford it, because they can only afford it if they have enough people selling.
Right now, what girl is doing videos, like, I think very little, but if they give us a chance to promote ourselves and other girls, like it's Seba that a promoter for Manon, or Manon does a video, more girls look at Manon as a model and they want to be like her.
You are huge on social media. You can use your own image to...
And that's what I'm saying, like you, right now you're throwing out a lot of videos, and that's what you're building a fan base. And you're one of the most active at the moment, like releasing not only aggressive, but yeah, give it up for all of that. So in a way, you're putting pressure on the company as well, and that is what we need. Like in a way, saying like, hey, give us a chance to show that we can do is sketchy for the company, because if they lose that money on the skate because it's not selling, that's sketchy. But you are in charge right now. You are in the position. And it's getting better every year. We're just starting. It feels like it's just starting for 2 or 3 years. So right now you're in the position to put pressure on them and make that skate. Because if people start demanding it, if USD gets emails like, hey, we really want that Mary Pro skate, or if Seba gets emails, we really want that Seba Manon skate, maybe it's gonna happen. But that only happens if there's a foundation, if there's videos, and if you put pressure on them with higher views. And it's not up to them to make it happen, it's up to you to make them realize they have no other choice, I feel. One second, Frida,
I know here are a lot of people who are running a skate school, and I always, when I talk to them, that the amount of the girls who are taking part of the skate schools is more than the guys. And what I noticed, that the girls are searching for skates, for junior skates, who are girly. They like the pink color. It is like this. Also, the protection color has to be pink. So I would love to. Yeah, this is my experience. I would love to see a skate, a junior skate, which is more girly like. So I would love to sell it to the girlies. They
But
can
how
go out
many
there.
how many girls in that room ever send an email to a company